Yes, my dear student. How are you all? I hope everyone is absolutely fine. I am also doing great. Today I am here to inform you about the 5 biggest mistakes which normally a CA student do while preparing for CA final examination. From my point of view, any student who is preparing for CA final examination should think about that mistake right now, or they need to realize the same mistake after examination or after result. Choice is yours. Think about that mistake right now or after examination or after result. It is quite possible right now many students who have already written CA final examination previous attempt, they are listening this video. And if you think that you have committed some mistake while preparing for CA final examination which you have realized right now, I will just request you to please mention the same mistake in the comment box, so that any student who is writing CA final examination for the first time in May 2025 or onward attempt can understand that mistake, realize that mistake right now, and they can ignore the same mistake while preparing for CA final examination. Let us start the discussion about the 5 biggest mistakes from my point of view which normally a CA student do while preparing for CA final examination. Are you all ready? But before we start discussion, if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe this channel, or if you think that this video will really help you, don't forget to share this video with all your friends and like this video. Let us start the discussion. First mistake which a CA student commit is selective study of any course. Nowadays what students do, they go for ABC analysis for any exam preparation. Now when they go for ABC analysis, what they do, they will concentrate on A category chapters and they will try to ignore B category or C category chapters, and sometimes they will totally ignore C category chapters. This is selective study. Just try to understand, when we provide ABC analysis, we never mean that from C category chapter question will not be asked. It is not intention of any faculty. We try to say that A category include those chapters from which mandatory a question will be asked, to focus on that chapter initially. And B and C category will include those chapters from which question may or may not be asked. Therefore, you can do the preparation of B and C category once you have done A category preparation. That is our intention. But believe me, A category chapter will contain 50% of marks as a weightage, and B plus C category in total will contain 50% of marks. Means no faculty can estimate the chapter from which 90% of marks will be asked in examination. That is impossible. And if you concentrate on A category or somewhat B category, ignoring C category, if the questions come from C category, then what will do? And now with introduction of MCQ question, normally question from MCQ will be from a small chapter which a student tend to ignore while preparing for examination. Are you able to understand? So from my point of view, you should never go for selective study. You should do full preparation. You are writing a CA final examination. It is a professional examination. It cannot be passed by doing selective study. Now when I am saying selective study, I don't mean that if you are preparing only to the extent of 80%, you cannot pass the examination. Just try to understand, there can be one situation that out of all the chapter, there are few chapters which you have not understood. So it does not mean that I am saying that if you have not understood that chapter, you will not be able to pass the examination. If you have not understood that chapter, don't panic about that. Whatever you have understood, that do you do perfectly. Means in any chapter, it is quite possible some point you have not understood, some questions you have not understood, that at the last hour, you are not supposed to panic about that. Ignore that. But whatever you are doing, that should be perfect. Means any small chapters, any simple chapter, you should not completely ignore due to lack of time. Means you should plan your study in such a way that if you can revise all the chapters, and become perfect and go for examination. Can you say, if you are preparing all chapters, you'll be totally confident in your exam, and of course you'll be confident in your exam hall, and that will help you to score high marks in examination. Got this point? Once again, whatever I am saying, you should not prepare for examination on the basis of selective study. ABC analysis means what? You should focus, you should give more time on A category. It does not mean that you should ignore B and C category. Got this point? Yes, sir. So this can be one of the reason which you might commit while preparing for CA examination. So don't go for selective study. I will always suggest that go for comprehensive study, prepare for all chapters, and you are a CA final student. You can understand each and everything. Plan your preparation effectively so that you can cover all the syllabus. Okay, sir. I hope the first point is clear. Second mistake which normally a student commit while preparing for examination is to ignore concept based learning. Nowadays, I have found a student are shifting from concept based learning to question based learning. So what is question based learning? Just try to understand what students do now. They will not read the concept initially. Means they have done in the class, but while preparing, while revision, while revising any subject, they will first solve the questions. They will come to the solution and then try to understand the concept. This is not the correct way of learning. Question based learning is totally bakwas method. Believe me, you need to first read the concept, understand the concept, and then solve the question and try to understand whether you have understood that concept or not while solving that question. This is only the method to learn. Believe me, one concept may have n number of questions. If you have understood that concept, can you say any question you can do? But if you are doing one question, from that question you are trying to understand concept, that question may be changed in exam. That question may be modified in exam. Of course, if the same question is asked, you can do it. But what if the question have been modified? What if different question is comes in exam? Then what you will do? You will not be able to relate with the concept, whatever you have understood from that particular question when you have done preparation. That you need to understand. At CA final level, you can't ignore concept based learning. Believe me, you are not writing any BCom exam. It is not a BCom exam, it is a professional exam where you need to build your concept and then you will be able to solve any question. Now, with the introduction of MCQs, you think that exam become easy. Not at all. Because MCQ based question will be based on concept. And can you say every attempt? Different types of MCQs will be asked, and we don't know from which chapter they are going to ask, from which concept they are going to ask the question related to MCQs. In that, your concept will only help you. If you are good in concept, if you know each and every concept, you can do any question. I'm not saying that you should not practice question. Just try to understand. Don't try to misunderstood me. But first learn the concept, then do the practice of the question. Then you do practice n number of questions. Understood? But without learning the concept, without knowing the concept, if you are doing only questions, solving the question and trying to understand concept from the solution of that question, that is not the correct way of learning. This mistake normally students do while preparing for any subject for examination. This you need to avoid. You should concentrate on concept based learning. You should avoid question based learning. Got this point? Yes, sir. Now, the third mistake, which from my point of view is the biggest mistake which a student commit, is the expecting question from ICA resource. When I say ICA resource, it means ICA study material, RTP, MTP, and past year examination question. I don't understand why students expect at CA final level questions should come from ICA resource. I have never understood. Everyone says, even Google Baba says that CA exam is the toughest exam. If it is toughest exam, you only think whether questions should be asked from ICA resource, and if they are asking from ICA resource, the question which you know they are asking that, then how it is toughest course? Then it becomes simplest course. Then I will say it is simplest exam. It's just like class 11, 12. Got this point? So you should not expect question from ICA resource. If you are expecting that, if you are not prepared for that, it means you are doing some mistake. And just try to understand, if in any examination question is asked out of book, it is not out of syllabus, it is from the concept. It means you have ignored concept based learning. That I was saying, that if you have understood concept, you can handle any question of any nature in exam. Same thing happened in last examination. Most of the subject question came out of the book. Students say it is the toughest paper. Why it is toughest paper? You need to say that it was simple. You are not prepared for the examination. You are not able to handle that. It was not tough. If the question is asking out of book, so how it become tough? You don't know the concept. You are not able to correlate the concept with the particular question. Means question asked from book, it becomes simple exam. Question asked from out of book, it becomes difficult exam. No, sir. Once again, I am saying it is quite possible. Right now, you may be thinking that whatever I am saying, it may hurt you, but you need to realize this fact right now. You should not expect question from ICR resource. And if you are expecting, you are committing some mistake. And I will say it is just like a suicide. If the question is coming from book, okay, but if the question is not coming from book, you need to answer that question also in any situation, and that you can handle only when you are conceptually strong. You are conceptually strong for any subject. That you need to understand. Once again, one more point I just like to add: if the question is out of book, it is out of book for everyone. Means if you are saying it is the toughest paper, it is toughest paper for everyone. You can't give an excuse at that point of time because the question is out of book. This time I will not be able to pass. So if it is out of book, it is out of book for everyone. Then also the result will remain same. Result percentage always remains same. If the question is asked from the book or out of the book, the percentage remains same. Got this point? Whatever I want to say, don't give an excuse that this time question was asked from out of book, I will not be able to pass. Let us move to next attempt. If you are not able to handle that question, means you have not done concept based learning. Focus on concept based learning, then only you can handle any question. Don't expect question from ICI study material. If you are expecting that, what will happen if the question is coming out of book, you will not be able to handle that situation in exam hall. I will say from my point of view, you should expect that question will come from the book, from out of the book only. Not from the book, it will come from out of the book. If that is the expectation, believe me, in exam hall you can handle any type of question. You need to understand this real fact. I hope you have understood. The third point also you have understood. Can I come to the now fourth point? Fourth mistake is ignoring writing practice. Nowadays, a CA final student don't write anything. I don't know why. Just try to understand our CA final examination. 30 marks paper is MCQs. Okay, for that writing practice is not required. But 70 marks paper are descriptive. In that you need to write. And if you don't have sufficient writing practice, you will not be able to complete 100 marks paper in 3 hours. That you need to understand. For passing any examination, mantra is what? You need to complete 100 marks paper. If you are not able to complete 100 marks paper, your probability to pass will be less. This is only mantra. Means what I think, that if you are writing 100 marks paper, you will be given average marks, and that average marks is 50%, and to pass any examination, aggregate you require is 50%. This is a simple mantra. I'm not saying that if you are writing 80% paper, then you will not be able to pass. But mantra is what? You need to complete 100 marks paper, and that you can do only when you have sufficient writing practice. But nowadays student, when they take recorded classes, they will take the printout of class note. They will not write anything in the class. I don't know why. I don't know why. Means they think they don't have time. Means they are one of the busiest person. Means we as a CA student, we have never done articleship. We feel like that. When we were student, we used to solve each and every question. We do lot of writing practice. But nowadays student, I don't understand why they think they are the busiest person in this world. They are taking the classes, they are listening the classes, but they will not write. They will take the printout and they will do the audit, because now you become auditor. For revision also you will not write, you will not practice, you will see the solution, you will see, of course you have understood. Okay, you understood the question, you understood the solution, but can you write down that solution in your exam? Just try to understand. If any question required to be solved in 10 minutes, and if you are taking 30 minutes for writing that particular solution, it means you have not understood. It means you will not be able to write in exam. It means you will not be able to score in exam. That you need to understand. So if you want to complete 100 marks paper, you need to have sufficient practice. It is my request to all of you, whenever you are doing solving of any question, write and do. You are not supposed to do writing practice for all the questions, but if there are 10 questions in a chapter, at least write 4 questions. There are some good questions, there are some comprehensive questions, that you write and practice, so that you can understand what to write, what working note to be provided, in working note what need to be written, how to write down that solution in exam. That is also one important point. Understood? So don't ignore writing practice. If you ignore writing practice, believe me, you will not be able to complete the paper only in exam hall. This is the mistake which nowadays students are committing. I hope you have understood. Avoid this type of mistake while preparing for examination. Okay, sir. Now, last mistake which I have understood from the last two attempts under the new scheme of syllabus, students are ignoring IBS preparation. IBS means Integrated Business Solution paper number 6, which is nothing but a combination of 5 subjects as well as 2 subjects of SOPM, that is law and costing. It means, can I say IBS preparation requires thorough understanding of 5 subjects including law and costing? Law and costing means SOPM exam. Correct now? So you should have a thorough understanding of 5 plus 2, 7 subject if you want to prepare for IBS preparation. What I have understood is students are not able to plan the preparation of IBS. They are not giving proper time for IBS preparation. This I have understood. And what I have understood that some students are first writing group 2. How it is possible? Means when you are writing group 2, in group 2 we have paper number 6 and they need to write paper number 6 without understanding of group 1 subject. How it is possible? Means you don't know FI, you don't know AFM, you don't know audit, and you are thinking that you can handle the question related to this subject in IBS question paper. How it is possible? Means if you can handle that, this is chamatkar. And can I say you should not expect that the same case study whatever is being given in ICS study method that will be asked. It is an open book exam. How can you expect the same case study they are going to ask? Believe me, IBS means in every attempt they will create a new case study. They will create new case study. They will never ask the same case study in what your examination. Don't expect also that. And case study they can prepare, they can create a number of case study. Don't think about that. Now with artificial intelligence, believe me, the preparation of case study is also very easy. I hope you are understanding. So if you are preparing first group 2, I will say that is not acceptable. If you pass the examination, this is chamatkar, I will say. From my point of view, either you should write down first group 1 or you should write down both group. But you should not write first group 2. It is quite possible that you are prepared for all the 3 subjects, but you are writing group 2 chalega. Means you are prepared for all the 3 subjects of group 1, but now you are writing only group 2. That is okay. That is okay. But without preparation of the subject of group 1, you can't handle IBS examination. I hope you are understanding. Correct? So what is my suggestion that whenever you are preparing for IBS, you should have thorough understanding for FR, AFM, audit, DT, IDT, costing and law. For that, what is my suggestion? When you are doing SOPM preparation for law and costing, that time you should prepare in such a way that you are preparing for IBS examination also. That should be in your mind. So you should plan your SOPM preparation. Of course, it is a formality which we can understand whatever I have understood from a student point of view. But it is my suggestion because you are reading, you are preparing for SOPM examination. Of course, you are reading that. You are reading the subject because you need to pass that examination. To read that subject in such a way that you are preparing for IBS examination. Got this point? So that you can plan your IBS preparation effectively. That is my suggestion. That is my suggestion. So don't ignore IBS preparation. Give sufficient time. If you are writing both group, of course, can I say you can handle IBS examination effectively. But if you are writing only group 1 and then you are writing group 2, you need to give some time for the subject which are related to group 1. Means if you are writing group 2, then of course you should give some time to the subject of group 1. That is my suggestion. That planning is required. Because IBS examination is open book examination. Believe me, whatever case study they will ask, that will be totally new. Open book, you can understand how to find out that question. You should also need to that practice. Means what happened when you are preparing for IBS preparation? What is my suggestion? That solve some case study, have all the books in front of you. Try to find out. Don't read a solution. Try to find out where you will get that concept, where you will get the question, and then try to find out whether you are able to complete the entire case study in the sufficient time or not. So that practice is also required. So are you doing that practice, or you are only arranging the book? Arranging the book is okay, but Kenny says you need to solve some case study by your own. Whether you will be able to find out a concept, whether you will be able to solve the question, then you can you find out that concept in that book? can you find out that question in the book? That is also required. That is also required. Collection of books, okay, it is okay, I can understand you to collect the books, but solving of some case study for practice, that is also required. So you should give some hour, some dedicated hour for IBS preparation also. This is my suggestion. I hope all the points I have concluded. Believe me, if you follow whatever suggestion I have given, if you try to avoid this mistake, your preparation will be excellent and you will be able to handle any type of question paper in exam, whether question is coming from the book, whether question coming out of the book. Believe me, you will be able to write in exam, because if you are following this, you will be totally confident in exam hall. This is my suggestion. Focus on concept based learning, practice lot of question, correct? Don't try to indulge in selective study. These are some suggestions which I have given. Now already I have said, any student who have already written past examination, if you feel that some point need to be added, you can message in the comment box, because that will help other students who are writing for the first time, who are writing first time examination May 2025. They will be able to understand that you have done this mistake, we should not commit this mistake in our examination. Got this point? I hope this video will help you. Correct? Do like this video, do share this video with all your friends. All the best for your preparation. Love you all. Bye bye.